Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to show off our new occupants, Synodontis Petricola, and hopefully they don't hide for the rest of the video. We have 3 of them. They're definitely on the rare side. Here's one. Very hard to get, and I guess you could say they're hard to breed, but it's not the breeding part that's hard. This fry, or well, baby, he's not even half grown, and it probably took about a year to get him here. So as a breeder, they're lucrative because they're expensive, but you really have to wait for your money, so that's why they're rare, because they're not like fast turnover fish. But they're probably one of the most peaceful catfish you'll find. They come from Eastern Africa, Tirikonga, I think it is. And there's a few varieties. This is the dwarf variety. There's other types that look exactly the same almost, but there's less white on the tips of their fins. Otherwise, they look the same, and they get much bigger. This guy should max out between 5 and 7 inches. They said it would be around 5, but when I look it up, some people say they can go 7. So we'll see what happens. It's really hard to get footage because they do like cover, but they're pretty active right now, so I whipped out the camera, and I think I have some new plants coming tonight. That'll help me propagate some more plants, and oh, here we go, and defeat that blackbeard. But they have like a cheetah pattern to them. I'm really just seeing their bellies right now. There we go. They really like the cover, but they're getting more brave. They stayed shy for several days after adding them in the new tank. They're in perfect health. They've come into their own. I'm glad they're coming out more. You need to buy these in groups of 3 or 4, but because of their expense, we only have 3. My lovely daughter just surprised me with them. I didn't even know these things existed, and she's like, "Hi, Dad. Here's some rare fish for you that I found." And she works in the industry, so she knows what's what, right? And she always brings me the coolest fish. So yeah, I'm very privileged to have a few of these in my tank. Their colors will get even more bold as they get a little older, and as it does with most fish. And they eat algae. They're omnivores. And it's probably aside from the Corridora, I would say they're equivalent to the Corridora. They're very, very peaceful fish. It's like having a much prettier Corridora in your tank. They do push around the gravel a little bit, but no more than the Corrie does. You're supposed to run them in a sand tank, but mine's 50% sand, 50% gravel, and I'm sure they'll do just fine. And they really like all the cover I got going. They seem to have adapted really well. They're moving well. They're out and happy. So this is the type of fish that if your tank conditions are not doing well, you won't see them. Like the coolie loach, you won't see them. I saw all 3 of my coolie loach today, and these guys are out as well. So some days I don't even see my coolie loach. There's nothing wrong, but I see them often in my tank. Oh, look, I rarely see them come over here, so they're really getting happy now. That might be actually the first time I've seen one scout over there. They probably do it at night, but during the day they tend to be skittish. But I think they feel safe now, and they're getting used to the routine. Definitely a beautiful fish. Fun to watch. Looks like I'm getting some green spot again. I'm going to have to get in there with the razor blade, fix the glass up. But I tend to keep my hands out of the tank when I get new fish in there, and I leave them be for a while. So I've recently had this guy added who's doing great. No problems whatsoever. And he's eating lots of beef heart now. He's not eating anything else yet, but he's eating lots of beef heart, and it's probably what he was raised on. And take me a few weeks, but once we get him into the other foods, he'll really take off because he's super healthy. I mean, he should grow fast. If you look at these blue guys and you go back on my video, even just a few weeks ago, they're in super growth mode right now. They're growing super fast. By next month, I bet you they'll be nearly as big as Big Red. And several of these guys are growing at the same rate and better beside them, like this guy up here. He's even dropped all his bars. I got a couple of them now that have dropped their bars. But this one's just growing like a beast. Look at that beautiful fish. That's the brilliant turquoise from Stenker discus. To import 8 babies like this, babies from Germany to Canada, it was $1,100 like 2 years ago. And I bet you it's in the neighborhood of 15 now with the inflation, maybe more. So you had to get 8 babies of these. And I got 11 soon to be adults. I have no clue how to value those, but of course I'm not importing them. These were first generation. My friend imported them, and these are the first babies he produced from them. So pure line. A really good line there. And here's the other blue one. You can see they're growing quite nicely. Now that's what I'm going to do is for the yellow one is compare its growth to the blues, because it's smaller, but we'll see what happens. I have a feeling the yellow one's really going to grow well because he's got a beautiful forehead. He's got no catching up to do. Like, his breeder did a freaking beautiful job. Nice yellow eyes on him. He's got a little bit of black trim on the bottom of his bottom there. If he didn't have that, he'd be perfect. You could call him a yellow diamond. He'll be more yellow as he grows, so that black trim might fade out, but I don't think it's going to. I think it's like the same thing here in the bottom of Big Red. He's still got his. But when he's really happy, you almost don't see it, like right now. He does have a black trim all along the edge of his lower. There it is. You just saw it a little better. But yeah, the happier he gets, the less I tend to see it. So it could be a mood thing. Could be an age thing. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, our new little catfish are really having a good time now, enjoying their little home. I mean, it's the first day they really got out and moved around. I was going to go in there and start cleaning glass and ripping out filters and doing filter maintenance today, but I think I'm going to leave them alone for a little while longer because this is a new behavior and I don't want to discourage it. Filters should be fine anyway. The water looks great. But yeah, they're due. I need to do my weekly filter maintenance. Is that one of those little mini baby guys? They're still in there, aren't they? I'm surprised catfish aren't eating them up. I've seen a few of them. That might be what they're doing too. I've seen a few of them with like larger circular white bodies. So I do believe they are going to be baby skirted tetra if they make it. I'm not seeing anything right now. It's hard to see with the phone, and once I get them up on the screen, I tend to see them more. I don't know if there's any swimming around right now, but I'm just doing a little scan here so I can check later. Little tiny babies, and I think they're skirted tetras. They could be baby shrimps, and if they're baby shrimps, they're supposed to not live, and they could be just keep seeing baby shrimps swimming around and they die off. So I haven't quite determined what they are, to be honest. They're really tiny though, so that's why I lean into the shrimp thing. But I believe the skirted tetra are meant to be really tiny when they're born, so we shall see. This video's gotten way longer than usual, but that is where we're at today. Oh, I guess we'll do a quick little look over at the pair. The eggs didn't make it. The mistake was the discus laid on a dirty surface. I've got to get the breeding cones here. They're not here yet, and then scrub them daily so that the eggs don't die next time. So here we are at the breeding station, and they're doing just fine. I ran this tank through anti-parasite and antifungal treatments. Nothing was wrong with the fish, but the eggs died the way they did. Now, that was a precautionary thing. I want to make sure that I don't have a fungus problem in this tank, because it was a used tank and it may have come with a fungus problem. So I've treated the tank, everything in it, for fungus and parasites. The problem is that floating bed filter back there had been sitting in this tank and it was seated in my other tanks for a while. So it had that biological sort of slime on it, and they laid their eggs on that, and well, that killed the eggs. So I've done sufficient research, and that's definitely why they died. It might not definitely be why they died, but it has to be why they died, because that's, with these fish, you literally have to keep cleaning, like you're a madman. You have to keep cleaning the breeding cone that they're going to lay the eggs on to prevent them turning white from bacteria or fungus or anything that might be growing on the surface. So that was my mistake, and I'm new at this, so I'm going to make mistakes. But that will be my approach. I will be cleaning the cone like mad until they lay their eggs, so they have an absolutely clean surface. Of course, not using soap, just scrub, rinse, put it back, so nothing fuzzy's on there, microscopic and fuzzy. And I should see success next time around, because they guarded the eggs right up until they looked like fuzz, and then I took them away, which probably disheartened them a little. But and then I set this all up like this to make it uncomfortable for them to lay on any of this stuff. And the glass is probably too cold for them to want to lay on the glass, so they're kind of on pause. They can lay eggs every 4 to 6 days, so I really need the cone to get here. And then once they have a suitable surface, I hope to see them continue laying eggs. And they should, because they are a pair. They're a confirmed pair, and those last set of eggs were fertile. So it's just a matter of time. I think it's just a matter of time, get those cones in, and we're off to the races. So do stay in touch, do stay tuned, and if you haven't already subscribed, please consider it. Lots more going on here as spring and summer kicks in. I'm going to have lots of adult fish pairing off. I'm going to be building a couple more of these racks with 3 tanks in each rack. I hope to have 8 breeding stations going in the next couple months, and most of them occupied with discus. If I could only be so lucky to get that many pairs in my first year, but with my first batch of grown discus, but I doubt I will. They say the average is 1 pair for every 10 discus, But like these are two of my oldest fish, and they paired off right away. So I got really lucky there. And I still have like 17 more discus growing. So we should have some pairs. 5 pairs might happen. I'd love to see 5 pairs, but we'll see what we get. So don't want to keep you too much longer. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful day.